Welcome to the Post-Purchase Pro Podcast.
This is the only podcast that dives deep into post-purchase marketing to help Amazon sellers increase sales, ranking, reviews, and profits. It's everything that happens after the initial sale that makes a difference. We call this the back end. Hey, Seth, how's it going?
Sean, I'm excited for another episode of the Post-Purchase Podcast. Here we have a very special guest today. We're going to be talking about driving sales by creating amazing sales videos. Here we have the co-founder of Social Motion, Michael Arking. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Hey guys, how are you? I just got to get centered here, if that's okay.
Hey, left is right and right is left. Up is down,
Right,
down is up.
Right, yeah, right is left.
Hey, it's good to see you again, my friend. It's
Thank you,
been what, 10 days or so since we've spoken.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
still reading the awesome book that you recommended, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that when we get done with the show. Don't go anywhere because Seth and I want to chat you up after the live broadcast. Seth?
Yeah, definitely. So, Michael, welcome to the Post-Purchase Podcast. Like we said, you are the co-founder of Social Motion. So if you don't mind, Michael, for the audience, tell us what Social Motion is and how you became the co-founder of it.
Sure. Happy to share it with you guys. It's great to be here. I spent most of my career near e-commerce for about 15 years. Selling online. So I was in sort of an early adopter, even pre-Amazon, and actually was on Amazon the early days and drop shipping on JCPenney and Sears then when they were really number one sites back in the day, which is hard to believe today, a top 10 site. After about 15 years of that, I went into kind of e-commerce consulting for companies. And then I actually went into working with a lot of brands and saw this kind of need for video, started working on new branding, new positioning, new selling online, omni-channel, and hired my today partner, actually, who was a director of large-scale commercials for 15 years from the UK to work on projects. And as I went through this process with clients, I started to see this gap in the market. Boy, you need a video to sell. You go to a big agency, you get this beautiful video. It's $100,000, right? That's really great. It takes 6 months. You go to the social media guys, they kind of hand it off to somebody. It's really not their thing. They're building audiences. Or you go to the local video guy and he's gone to film school. He's very talented, but he doesn't understand about selling product. And so I thought I can bring these two disciplines together, an e-commerce background, a digital background, and then, of course, with my partner's background in directing and really design these beautiful TV commercials, right? How do we bring that all down to a price that's affordable on short videos that are, 6 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, things that really work. I think we've got tremendous experience now. We're in our 5th year. We've learned a lot about how these videos should be constructed and why they're different in different platforms. So that's a little bit of background how we started. Today, we're about a team of 25 writers, artists, animators. We do live action, 3D, 2D. We really work in all the disciplines to become a really an extension of our partners to understand, okay, how do we go in there and say, what's the best approach at the right cost to create a video? And, I think like a businessman, right? I'm thinking about how do we cut costs? How do we cut costs but still make it great? I don't go in there with, let's make it beautiful, right? We need to sell stuff. We need to understand our clients, got a budget and they're watching their money and we're watching their money as well. So our goal is to be a long-term partner to provide quality videos.
I love it, Michael. So I'm always blown away by the knowledge that you have in the industry and more specifically, how much value you put in having something dynamic like a video when it comes to engaging customers. Seth and I create content just like this all day long, every day. And we find that video is the best way to engage our customers, our prospects out there in the world. So thank you for taking that seriously and for making this available for Amazon sellers around the world who are our audience. So tell me in your own words about your partnership with Amazon and why you're so excited about that.
Yeah, very excited to talk about it. It's kind of interesting. So being in business 5 years, we kind of stumbled into this relationship with Amazon, who saw some of our videos and came back to us and said, look, there's been an executive directive to improve the quality of videos on Amazon. Look, it's the #1 platform in the world. And the idea that people would use sub-quality videos And we're not saying you have to go into big TV commercials or huge budgets, but the idea that they would use a sub-quality video around a great product is amazing. And Amazon's very unhappy with that, right? You can imagine how Jeff Bezos feels when he opens up a particular page or product and sees some kind of really poor quality video there. It just reflects terribly on the brand. They had that directive. They saw our portfolio. They saw the kind of work that we did, which was very product centric, right? Not just beautiful videos of people hiking up with a water bottle, but the water bottle is the video, right? The product and the video working one in one. So we're very proud to announce that we were one of the first 20 partners to be selected by Amazon on their platform as a video partner. And so they keep expanding out that platform and interviewing different companies. So it was quite exciting for us to be in their beta. This just launched in May, and I think it can be found on the Amazon platform below Creative Services.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that partnership, Michael. I know that you guys are going to big places with Amazon, who's, in my opinion, trying to take over the entire planet. And that's okay. So Seth has a great question coming up where he's going to ask you, and you can prepare for this. He's going to ask you a question about what questions should all Amazon sellers ask before trying to engage a video company. But before we do, let's go for a quick commercial break. As you know, Seth and I don't sell anything on the show at the Post-Purchase Podcast. So why don't you do us a favor right now? If you'll just go to your favorite podcast platform and just like us and review us, write us a review, give us a star rating. We'd sure appreciate it, and it will help other entrepreneurs like you easily find our show. Thank you. Seth, I know you're dying to ask the question.
I am, but first I wanted to just make a quick comment on what Michael's doing. So when we spoke the other day, Michael, it became very apparent that you're not making videos just for the art of making the video. And we have this conversation all the time with our clients, because what we do is we try to produce results. And I think that's what you guys do as well. You're not looking to create this beautiful video that wins awards. You're trying to create a video that makes sense from an ROI basis. Like Sean likes to say, we're not trying to save the manatees. We're trying to make a profit here with some of the things that we're doing. So
while we're saving the manatees.
We're saving the manatees.
Yeah. So so let me get on to the question then. What question do you wish that all Amazon sellers would ask themselves before engaging a video production company?
Thanks for that note. I think that's a great question. And I think what they should be thinking about when they're making a video, back to your point, right? We're not trying to create something beautiful and artistic, though we certainly create beautiful and artistic videos. I think the first thing they have to think about when they're considering a company is, do they have any experience with product videos? Because you can have a movie level production and completely flop on Amazon. You really have to understand the construct of their video and where it is in the purchase journey on Amazon, right? You have to think about, is this ad sponsored? Is this streaming? Is this product detail page? Every one of those has a specific, specific part of the journey for each consumer coming on, and they're in different places. And when they're at that point, they're first coming in and they're looking at, let's say they've done a keyword search and they've landed on an ad sponsored place. Well, they're competing with other brands there. You've got to capture them. And as I noted before, it's so funny because we've seen these beautiful videos that people have showed us, and we've said to them, look, why doesn't this work on an ad-sponsored video? The reason is you had 3 seconds, and that woman was climbing up the mountain, and you never got the, that water bottle that you want, the thermos that she was carrying in front of the customer. It was already too late. You already lost her. So you really have to understand where they are and the construct. Not every video company is the same. There's plenty of talented people out there. It's something that we learn. It took us years actually to learn about the customer journey. The top, middle, and bottom of the funnel absolutely applies in creating videos and knowing that journey. And then the freshness of the content, of course, keeping it fresh, and then doing testing, right? If you got a super product, you want to run ad-sponsored videos there. You want to see what your ACOS is. You want to go back and try another one, and let's try to optimize again. If you think about the life cycle of that video as an investment, if it's a great product and it's doing well, it's actually very, very cheap at the end of the day. You can run these videos, 2 years, 3 years. I mean, if we haven't got a cell phone from 1985 in it, I think we're safe, right? Or a laptop in the
I
background.
think it could last longer, Michael. I'm actually still hearing about the video about Charlie bit my finger. I'm a little bit annoyed with that one. So another question for you, if you don't mind, talk about, if you would, one of the case studies that you worked on that you're most proud of.
You know, we had a client come in who was selling Champion sweatshirts. This is an interesting one because it wasn't actually direct to brand. Typically, a lot of our customers have their own brands, but this one was for Champion sweatshirts in the larger sizes. We don't typically always work with apparel. We're not the number one apparel company. How much can I do with a sweatshirt was a question that we had too. Well, we have created this video for them with a little bit of stop motion, which is one of the disciplines that we do. I don't know if you guys are familiar with stop motion, but basically
Not
it's
until
one
you
frame
showed
at
me.
a time. Yeah, it's kind of like Gumby, right? One frame at a time. And then we used our animation techniques to overlay on top of that video. And I think it was tremendously compelling. The backgrounds were yellow. The video is bright. If you go to that Champion, I'll have to share it with you to show it to you. But there's clouds coming in and water coming in to show that it's waterproof, and it speaks to the benefits of the product, but it's really fun and engaging. And I'll give a little secret to the audience here, no matter who they use for video, and that is when you're doing an Amazon sponsored ad specifically, just make sure you keep that product in frame as much as you can, right? And let things dance around it. Don't get lost. Don't go someplace else where the customer's going to get lost.
Great advice.
Yeah. So video, like you said, Michael, is a great way to drive actual sales in your business. And that's what you guys are doing. I've seen your videos. They're incredible. Even though you're not making them from an artist, you're not making them with the sole intention of making them artistic. They look beautiful and they're really engaging. They produce results, which is what we're all after. So what do most sellers get wrong when it comes to video? Because a lot of people try it. Not too many people are really nailing this right now.
I'd say, number one, make sure you have at least 3.5 stars before you put something out there. A poor product, no video is going to help your product if it isn't any good, right? So we can't save the day there. Don't expect miracles. I think don't try to bullet point, talk about everything, right? This is traditional, advertising. Sean knows this inside out, right? You try to say everything and you end up saying nothing. Keep it clean. Keep the frame clean. Get to the key benefit. Get in your consumer's shoes. Just be practical in how you're looking at this product. Don't get overly lost in the creative process. I mean, we have a portfolio. I hate to toot our horn, but I'm so proud of it. We've got more than 850 films that we produced and videos for across Amazon and social media, websites. They're used to, in-store across the board. And if you go to our site and see them at socialmotionfilms.com, you'll see what distinguishes us, how different, how fun they are, how creative. But with that, we're always about the business, right? We want to drive the sales, and we also want to be that creative partner for the long term, understanding that, video is not a one and done. It's a partnership of iteration. And that's where I think the whole world is shifting, where our business is shifting is clients know it's a relationship. I had a client the other day, came on board, showed us some videos that they did. I said, look, these videos are really good. He was expecting me to say we can make a better video. That's not what we said, right? We saw some things we can improve. I don't think that was enough for them to move to us. But when we talked about expertise, about creating a campaign, running this across social, running it on Amazon, running it across platforms, brand consistency, testing, alternate creative approaches, he suddenly understood, oh, wow, there's a methodology here. This is just a video company I'm hiring. And I think that we're pretty much sold on it. And we're sold on trying to do the best job we can. To be honest, I care too damn much. That's the reality. I don't sleep over everybody's jobs.
I love that, Michael. Yeah. And I think that's what stands out about you. Whenever I've talked to you and interviewed you, I met you at one of the seller conferences, and I can tell that you're passionate about the end product. It's not just about making a buck. You're actually trying to make a difference and trying to be impactful to help with this third-party marketplace, also known as the monster of Amazon. Speaking of Amazon, Michael, that's who we tend to cater to. Our audience are mostly Amazon third-party sellers. So in your opinion, traveling and seeing these events, talking to sellers about video and otherwise, what do you see overall as a blind spot that you're seeing for Amazon sellers today? Where are we not focusing where we should be focusing?
That's a great question, Sean. I think I'm still seeing, in terms of video, I guess that, that's what I know. That's what I'm focused on, right? I think they haven't seen and realized the complete value of video comprehensively and where it's going. I think they're worried about the investment. I think they're used to using static images and saying, "Hey, this cost me $100." Now, I won't say that our videos are fortune. We have very competitive rates. Our team is split up between an overseas group that does animation, but the secret sauce is we do all the art design here and copywriting here in the US based to keep prices half of what they would be elsewhere. So if we're talking about a few $1,000s to create this video, you got to look at it in terms of ROI. Don't be short-sighted in your creative. And I will tell you this, from what I learned, and I am not the Amazon expert. You guys are much more than your sellers are. I'm just going to tell you what I know and what I've learned since I've gotten this game and what came out of my previous e-commerce life. And that is, brand is the future. It's going to remain the future, and you're going to have to shore that up. It's not going to change. Otherwise, it's all price, and we all know there's no bottom to price. You've got to have.
I didn't tell you to say that, did I, Michael?
No, you did not.
I preach it every single day. It's crazy, isn't it, Seth?
That's the blind spot. They better up their game on their branding. I had a toy company come in last week. Brilliant guy, sold his business, his Amazon business, has moved in, has launched a brand new brand. He put a tremendous amount of energy into his branding, into his brand guides, books, colors, positioning. And when you land on his toy page on Amazon and you see his video and his photos and everything else, it's like you discover this brand that's absolutely brand new. And these moms are discovering a great quality toy and this beautiful photography and video that really gives them trust, like, oh, I've discovered this. You'll never be cheap enough. You'll never make it on Amazon that way.
Seth has another question coming up for you, but we have to take a quick moment here and pause for station identity. Hey there, it's Sean Hart. If you found the information on the Post-Purchase Podcast useful and impactful for your business, do us a favor and your colleagues a favor. Share this, like us, and let others know how to find us on your social channels. We'd sure appreciate you. Now let's get back to the show. Thank you. Seth?
Yes, Michael. So I live here in Indiana, as well as Sean does right now for a minute. And the combines are in the field and they're taking the corn out. And what I was thinking about yesterday was that's not a business I want to be in, because the corn all looks the same to me. You can make a video, about corn, and it doesn't matter. The product's still the same. But what you're doing is you're actually creating trust at scale, which is this brand, and it's how businesses are going to thrive and how they're thriving now, and how you have pricing power and how you actually make some margin is by building that trust. And what you just described is exactly that. So if there's one thing, one thought or idea that you'd like to leave with listeners with today, what would that be today, Michael?
Video works. Make the investment. Be smart. Do the testing. Invest in your product. And put video behind great products, right? Don't waste your money on video, on cheap products that have poor reviews. Be focused on the long game. It's time to think about the future of your brand and where Amazon's going to go. And the sellers that are going to thrive are those people that are upping their game every day. And don't think it's a quick buck. It's not about, you need a long-term game plan. And video is part of that plan. There's just no question in my mind. This is just the beginning. Every day we reintroduce people to video.
Okay, so Michael, while it's on the screen, why don't you let folks who are listening, not watching the stream, know how to get in contact with you, and then we'll move into the fun portion of our show.
Sure. So, guys, you can take a look at a lot of our work at www.socialmotionfilms.com. You can email me directly if you have questions. You need some help. Do you have a video that you did that you want me to take a look at, see if it's worth its salt, if it's going to be usable, if I can direct you? You don't have to work with us to be helpful. I help people all the time and get calls and consult wherever I can. As a matter of fact, during the pandemic, when we're all shut down, I have to say things slowed down a bit before they really sped up. I probably put it out there that I did some free marketing consulting calls during that time. And I remember I had about 20 people call me up and took all these calls. It was quite exhausting, but it was probably one of the most rewarding times of my life to just sit there with no cost and just help people. So you can certainly reach out to me anytime at michael@socialmotionfilms.com. Pretty simple. Happy to help anytime I can, guys, with any questions you have.
Amazing, Michael. We can really tell that you care about the results and your clients. So we appreciate you. Let's transition to the last segment of our show, which is a couple of fun questions, Michael. So I know you've been around a long time in this game of business. So we'd like to know, what is your all-time favorite business book?
Oh, man. Good to Great, I think, is it's one of my favorites.
That's
getting
funny.
better every day.
That's the second time we've heard that today.
Is that true? Yeah.
Good to Great. Yep.
Yeah. And, and then, as Sean knows, I like a lot of spiritual books too. And there's plenty that I read. And I think there is a spiritual part to everything I do. I know that there's a big guy behind everything we do. We do the work, we show up, but without that guidance, I don't think I've made it this far.
There's always a bigger cause, right? Seth's actually going through the book now, the business lessons from the Bible, which I know you're familiar with, and he's enjoying it. It's a struggle because he doesn't like to read physical books. He's sort of right on the edge of the new age kids who just want to listen to books. So I don't know. Are you listening or reading, Seth? I can't remember.
Well, Sean, I don't have all that time that you do to sit back with the pages, so I just have to listen as I drive.
Okay,
that's
fair enough. He's got a toddler and he's got another one in diapers, so fair enough. Here's my question for you, Michael. So this is a show that caters to business people, specifically Amazon sellers. We're out there to create something to generate some wealth and create some income. So speaking of money, what's one thing that you purchased in the last 12 months that some may consider as a splurge, but you don't regret it?
Oh, man. That's a great question. I think actually I recently took some sales training that caught my attention, which was very, very unusual for me, right? Because I'm not always in the sales seat all the time. But I did want to kind of understand the new methodologies of sales. And I did learn, I think it recentered me on the idea of focusing on the symptoms rather than problem solution. I typically, as marketers, will look at a problem solution. And there's a question around, like, can you focus your ads on the symptoms to grab more attention? So, are you losing sales? Is your 8 costs falling off? Like, what's happening in your life? Oh, that's me. And I think sometimes I can forget that. So I think that was really worth its weight in gold. And also, this particular sales training talked about being on video, just like we are now, and filming some short videos of yourself with some solutions as a teaser with new clients, or to bring on new clients. I thought that was kind of fascinating itself. Like, maybe you saw me on film before for 2 minutes, and then maybe we got on a call and met at some point. So I don't think you'd ever stop learning about sales. Everything is sales. Selling your kids what to eat at night is sales. You know that.
Yes. Like, I think
that, right, Seth?
I read a quote once that said, everything is marketing and marketing is everything, Seth.
Yeah,
definitely. Sure. So, Michael, we really appreciate you coming on today. We do want to allow you one last chance to leave our audience with some final words of wisdom. Anything else to add?
I just say, guys, God bless everybody for doing a phenomenal job. I never saw so many people hustle on Amazon like I've seen. It's a complete economy. I really appreciate all the people that I meet when I'm out there in the field who are sellers online, and all the multitude of strategies that they're working on to better their business. I so tremendously appreciate that. And I'm in awe of what they're doing. I just want to be a part of that and helping if I can. I don't have all the answers, but I do think video is one component. So I love learning from the people I meet and the clients that I meet. And I want to see their business expand as well as ours. It all comes around.
Thanks for your contribution to our industry and to the community as a whole, Michael. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today. Don't go anywhere, man.
I will. Stay.